Oratorical Declamation from Glenbrook South, Nate Beasley.
Okay, before we begin, my dad always taught me that when there's a big elephant in the room, introduce him, so say hello to Mr. CAT-scan. As you can see, there are approximately 10 tumors in my liver, and the doctors told me 3 to 6 months of good health left. That was a month ago, so you guys can do the math. An interesting side note, however, what you weren't told before when I was introduced was that before they renamed this lecture series to Journeys, it used to be called The Last Lecture. If you had one last lecture to give before you died, what would it be? Now, when they asked me to do this, I thought, man, I finally nailed the venue. And now they've gone and renamed it. Inspiring. How else can you describe Randy Pausch? In fact, so inspiring that when he gave his last lecture in front of 400 of his family and friends at Carnegie Mellon University, he received a 90-second standing ovation before he spoke. He has terminal pancreatic cancer, yet is still able to designate some of the precious time he has left to help motivate others around him. Journeys by Randy Pausch. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Well, what we're not going to talk about is cancer. Look, I've spent too much time talking about it. I'm not really interested anymore. I know I'm going to die. I assure you I'm not in denial. It's not like I'm not aware of what's going on. I mean, I am. It's just we can't change it. The cards have been dealt. And you know what? Now it's time to play my hand. So today we're going to talk about my childhood dreams, how I've achieved them, and some lessons I've learned along the way, kind of drilled into my head. Okay, so what were my childhood dreams? Well, when I was younger, I wanted to play in the NFL. So in order to achieve that, I joined Pee Wee football. And I was the smallest kid in my league by far. And I had this coach, Jim Graham. He was just this hulk of a guy, and he was old school. And I mean, really old school. Like, he thought the forward pass was a trick play. And one practice, he just rode me the whole time. Like, you're doing this wrong. Go back and do it again. You owe me. You're doing push-ups after practice. And when it was over, an assistant coach came to me and said, hey, Pausch, Coach Graham rode you pretty hard there, didn't he? And I said, yeah. He said, that's a good thing. When you're screwing up and nobody's saying anything anymore, that means they gave up. And that's a lesson that stuck with me my whole life. Now, when you see yourself doing something badly and nobody's bothering to tell you anymore, that's not a good place to be. Your critics are actually your friends, telling you that they love you and still care. And Pee Wee football also taught me about head fakes. You know, indirect learning. Like when we send our kids out to play football, we don't actually want them to learn football. Now, I mean, it's great to have a really nice three-point stance, be able to do a chop block and run a wind sprint in under 20 seconds. But we send them out to learn more important things, like teamwork, sportsmanship, and perseverance. These head fakes I'm talking about, really important. And you should keep your eye out for them, because they're everywhere in life. In fact, there's 2 of them in this little talk. I'll quiz you later. Okay, lesson number 2. Let me let you in on a little secret. When we hit brick walls while we're going after things in life, they're not there to keep us out. You see, the brick walls are there to show how badly we want something. I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. Never give up. I didn't get into Brown University. I was put on the wait list. But I didn't give up. So I called them 30,000 times, and eventually they realized they couldn't live without me. People who don't want it badly enough. They're there to stop the other people. One of my childhood heroes was Jackie Robinson, and he encountered lots of brick walls in his life. And in dealing with those brick walls, he taught me not to complain, just to work harder. He actually had it in his contract not to complain, even when the fans were spitting on him. All right, dream number 2. After my failed NFL dreams, I decided that I wanted to be Captain Kirk. Yeah, what a role model for young people. And you know what I actually learned that carried me forward in leadership later is he wasn't the smartest guy on the ship. I mean, Spock, that dude was smart. And McCoy was the doctor, and Scotty the engineer, and you sort of go, what skill set did Kirk have to run that ship? And clearly there is this skill set called leadership. And he had it. And he had the coolest toys. I mean, my lord, I just thought it was fascinating as a kid that he had this thing that he could talk to his ship with. I mean, now I own one too. It's called a cell phone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were made so that we could all be like James T. Kirk. Another man I desperately wanted to be like when I was younger was my dad. He taught me so much. And he unfortunately passed away a little over a year ago. And when my mom and I were going through his things, we found a medal. The Bronze Star for Valor. In 50 years of marriage, the subject had just never been brought up. That's a lesson on humility. And if we all look closely enough, it's there to be learned everywhere in our lives. All right, the final lesson. It's perhaps the easiest, yet definitely the most important, so pay attention. Love. Be loved. And put a smile on your face. And too many of us walk around not using these gifts that we've been blessed with. But I say share them. Move people. And allow them to move you. Okay, so today you've heard me ramble on about my childhood dreams and some lessons I've learned along the way. But did you catch the head fakes? See, I told you I'd quiz you. It's not about